You notice they've been making straws shorter these days, or what? I think that they used to make straws longer, but they seem a little bit short these days. What are you doing?
What? You saying the straws?
Yeah, well, I was saying they make them shorter these days, because I used to remember them being a little bit longer, but...
Longer than that? That looks pretty long.
Why do you can't eat chips into the mic. You can't do that. What are you doing?
I haven't eaten all day.
You haven't eaten all day?
No, genuinely.
Aren't those your chips from 4 days ago when you got Chipotle?
Actually, it was yesterday, but I did get Chipotle 4 days ago.
Or did you pour some of the 4 days ago chips into the bag?
Obviously, I poured the chips from 4 days ago into the chips from 2 days ago, or yesterday, whatever the fuck I said.
So you're going to just eat those the whole podcast and wreck the audio?
Not the whole pot. How many fucking chips do you think are in here?
Well, you tell me. I don't know how often you get chips.
What, am I going to eat one chip every 5 minutes?
I don't.
Fuck out of here.
Why would you do that? That's a horrible dietary method. You're going to wreck the audio, by the way, if you do that.
I don't think it's that bad.
Eat one chip right now.
If you plug your ears, you can't even hear it.
Eat one chip right now. That was even louder than before. That was the loudest chip I ever heard.
That's not that loud. Plug your ears.
Plug your ears? Gotcha.
You are wearing headphones, so that doesn't work at all.
Oh, sorry.
You're still on the headphones.
No, I took the headphones off.
For audio listeners, Gus tried to plug the headphones, and then he took them off, and then he's now plugging the headphones even though they're not on his ears anymore. I know you can hear me, dude. The headphones aren't the only way you can hear me. The mic isn't taking all of the sound waves. They're supposed to...
Don't have the headphones on right now.
Sometimes a bit runs too long, and that's okay. I'm going to finish this chip.
Okay. Oh, that's not our theme song. Fuck, that was loud. I just did the... Wait, what is that?
That's the Between Two Ferns one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it? Wait.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
There we go.
That's a... What? Explain the noise to audio listeners.
I was just priming my straw for this episode.
You gotta prime it. You always gotta prime your straw.
Can't start a cold straw. We'll just be chugging along the whole episode.
We're here now. We've spoken a little bit today, but today was more of a chore day for us.
Yeah.
Because the boys are coming to town. We got Tony. We got Sven. We got Nakey Jakey. It's basically just a brother trip with
it.
Jakey there, too. He's now our brother as well.
He's our blood brother, our sub-brother.
I'd like to think that Jakey's so close to me that he almost owes me money for just me being that good to him.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'll be shaking him out, you know?
That's good. He sounds like he's a really good friend of yours. I personally consider him to be a brother of mine, so it's whatever.
I didn't really call him a friend. I said so close. So I would consider him a lover and possibly also a brother. So I don't know what kind of... You guys are kind of distanced. We can't make this the podcast where we make a bunch of awful noises.
How was your day, Eddie?
My day was good. I did something very boring, but I needed to do because my desk setup has a PlayStation. It runs to my TV. It has PlayStation VR connected and all my PC stuff. And the cords were a fucking mess. So I went through and I unplugged everything and I zip tied it and it's all neat and nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's boring, but now I keep walking in and you know when you like really clean something in your room and every time you walk in for like a day you're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
So but the rest of my room's a disaster right now.
I like that. I like living in a little bit of disaster, but I like setting up spaces is the biggest thing. That's why I like having people over. Is I like hosting and just think of little amenities and stuff. You know, like I'll put a bowl of M&Ms there.
Yeah.
I'll put some Shasta over there.
No,
you know?
that was so great. I think about us talking about being roommates for the first time is we'd mentioned that stuff, and it was like first I remember we mentioned that we always wanted to have the hangout spot be at our place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's even specifically it's down to like. If people are coming over, it's like, I need the correct snack bowls. Not like where I'd be like a drama queen of somebody else, but it's like chips got to be out instead of in the bag because they look cooler.
I like the little shit. Like today too, our mini fridge by the TV there. Like I made sure I turned all the labels on all the beers to be the same way.
Dude, I've done that before too with the mini fridge back home. Yeah.
Some good stuff.
It's great. It's just like when you want to have an official hangout with people coming over, it's just cool. People might not talk about it. They might, but just to in their head be like, when I went for snacks, everything was perfectly organized. When I went for a beer, it was just fully stocked. And then we were playing Smash Bros. On a big TV. And it's like,
I like that.
That is what I think, last episode when you mentioned about freaking out about heaven a little bit. Mm-hmm. If I believed in that stuff, then that would be what heaven is. Just drinking brews and playing Smash.
Just like that. All the labels facing the same way. All the boxes of Good and Plenty facing up in the drawers.
Yep, and it's forever. You're doing that forever, and none of your friends can leave, no matter how long they're there for.
But it'll end sometime.
Why don't we play another round? Smash.
Guys, we've been doing this for 3 millennia.
Maybe switch up your character then.
I mained Kirby, dude. I can't
I've
switch.
been maining Kirby for 3 millennia.
Was a millennia 1,000 years?
I think so, yeah.
Sounds right. I don't have enough to dispute it, even though the front of the laptop.
Let's just confidently say it's right and not look it up.
That's it. I'm not even touching the computer.
Fuck that shit.
BS. Hate technology.
What do you think about a lot of the... I always have a weird reaction when people do comedy about technology, because even if it's like a little negative, I think we all know there's a lot of negatives to technology, but I'm always very nervous when a comedian starts to talk about it, that it's just like, it's all bad, fuck this, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, your life expectancy is like 30 years more than it was 50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there are definitely negatives to talk about, but I really hate when people get so pretentious online, or even in like a comedy bit or a TV show, where it's just like, we're so attached to our phones. Like, do you really think you saying that was going to have somebody be like, oh my God, I am? Like, we all know. Yeah. You don't need to fucking like make a huge thing out of it.
They're watching it on their phone too.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, I would love to talk about that stuff. Not here. I don't about like the effects and like research of like phone usage and stuff. But to say it in this grand way of like, open your eyes, people. It's like I know you use your phone and you sit on the toilet for longer than you took a shit because you were scrolling through, and then your legs started to hurt. That's how long you sat there.
Do you think? There's no way to measure this data, but do you think that statistically in the last 10 years, like the percentage of people in first world countries with hemorrhoids has gone up significantly?
It has to have done.
Probably.
Because the thing is just, people are sitting way longer the more like technology goes, and then obviously toilets.
But how do you measure that? How do you measure a
ask
hemorrhoid?
A bunch of people on the street. How do you measure? Are you asking me if the hemorrhoids are bigger or if there's more hemorrhoids?
There are more pustules down there.
We need to find people on the street who have had a hemorrhoid 10 years ago, and then ask them if they have a new hemorrhoid, and then we measure the two.
Yeah, I had measure back in '86. I was rocking a couple 4 millis. Those are the 4 millimeters. Now I'm rocking 6/8 right now.
That's just that's the slang in the hemorrhoid game.
The millis.
Yeah.
Yo, big. What's your milli count down there?
Some guy gets it confused with like dick sizes. Oh, dude, mine's 5.5 inches. Like, whoa,
Buster.
I bet his name's Buster.
His name is Buster. How much mouthwash do you think you could drink before it killed you?
I don't know, dude.
I was wondering that today because I was remembering there's this kid when I was growing up from a town over that was like that got super blasted on mouthwash, and he was walking down the highway. He got hit by a car.
Is he alive?
I know he's not.
From that instance?
Yeah, he got hit by a car.
So did you segue the mouthwash thing starting to like in the beginning of the podcast want to talk about somebody that lived near you and died? Or? It
would be an interesting thing to procure, but no, I just looked at the bottle of mouthwash I bought at Target.
I was like, that's your segue was funny, but then it's like, yeah, and then this guy died. It's like, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, no, the mouthwash was on the side. No, but like, how the fuck who drinks mouthwash?
I don't know how you can without being. Well, I guess we drink alcohol, so that's
you probably drink a little bit of it, and it's fine because it's like otherwise, how could anyone just go buy it?
Yeah,
but
I just meant like for the burning sensation. But then like, I've had tequila before, so I can't be like, I don't know who would swallow mouthwash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet you could probably get like a cup of mouthwash down. It'd be fine, right? Like
yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, it depends. There's the mouthwash that's, like, made for not only kids to have, but there are safer ones.
Yeah.
And then there are the more intense ones.
Yeah.
Ones for men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, dog. I get you.
My mouthwash destroys my teeth. My mouthwash is just Coca-Cola.
I wonder, too, like, the thing is, it was never proven if the car killed him that hit that kid or if the mouthwash caught up with him the second before the car.
Like a millisecond before he just drops dead.
He just leapt into the street.
That's the defendant argument for them where they're like, we cannot prove that he didn't die instantly right before my client's car hit him.
All I'm saying.
This is a real person we're joking
I know.
about.
It was in Minnesota. Not that negates the value of it.
I would love that for other states. Yeah, what an awful story. Or just like what a beautiful miracle. Nebraska, though, so it doesn't really count.
What do you think is the worst state?
Well, without knowing anything about it,
Yeah.
before we knew Jakey, I would just guess one of the Dakotas. But
Yeah.
what I've seen from them, they're actually like pretty beautiful places.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We've seen a lot of the country now. Definitely nothing on the East Coast that I've been through, I would say is the worst because it's just really cool looking.
Maybe Ohio, though, probably.
Oh, yeah. No, Ohio's the worst.
Fuck you, Ohio.
There are like boring parts of the country when you're going through the Midwest to the West Coast. But there's something about Ohio where, like, Ohio has cities. So you expect when you first go to Ohio for it to be kind of like Illinois, which has a ton of, like, toward the south, a lot of space. But Ohio's just so fucking boring when you drive through it.
What about the city count, though? I'm just thinking, because they got Cincinnati, which registers. They got an NFL team. Of course, there's the Bengals, who suck. But then they also have Cleveland, which is kind of a little... It's a little rundown in parts. I went there once, but it's got like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff in it. Is Idaho worse than Ohio?
I don't really like care enough. You know what I mean?
Jamie, look that up. Is Idaho worse than Ohio?
Also, Nebraska's pretty boring, but it looked, cool, like farm stuff. We stayed in Nebraska, didn't we?
I think so.
That was the first night of the road trip where we drove.
yeah.
I think we drove like 12 hours the first day
Yeah.
to knock out like a lot of it.
What if we just we lost a sponsor? Ohio was going to sponsor us.
Ohio, it was
Damn
like,
it.
yeah, Visit Ohio was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be a big market for us. Tons of people who listen to the Gus Eddy podcast aren't from Ohio and are dying to go.
Dang it.
If you're, I can't say anything about the cities in Ohio though. I've just seen like the boring shit of driving through it.
Yeah.
Which I can never say. You can never confidently say like this state. When you were asking, I'm assuming you're saying traveling through.
Yeah.
Which is the worst.
Not everything about it. The people.
Fuck anyone from
the
Ohio.
Infrastructure. Everything.
That's gonna be in one of the fucking like Gus and Eddie, but it's bad. It's just like you talking and then me going like fuck Ohio.
Thanks for making the edits too, though. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I watched that one fully that I had retweeted it, but then I forgot to watch it. It was the Gus and Eddie podcast, but it's really bad. Was that it? Yeah, that one was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's weird because again, I mentioned this to you off the podcast that like you're watching it and it's an edit. But it still like kind of catalogs as an awkward moment in your head.
Yeah.
So it's weird where the same thing with like H3 or any of the awkward edits I've seen where you're watching it, and it's completely an edit, but your brain will still go like, what an awkward moment.
Yeah, because then you think like, where was that pause though?
Yeah,
what context
exactly.
was it in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where it could literally just have been, you talking in a shot that Tony decided to cut to me while I was listening to you. But then it's just this silent moment. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, people make edits of podcasts all the time, and somebody made one of ours. I think there's been a couple of ours so far, where they just take clips out of context and they just make it seem like one conversation. So it'll be like Gus, jokingly being angry about something in one podcast, and then it's me in another podcast where I did a bit where like I'm sad and scared, so it just seems like Gus is like yelling at me the whole time.
Yeah. Who do you think was the first guy to do a podcast?
Definitely Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan did a podcast in 1885, and he really started it then.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it after Prohibition or before?
It was definitely during.
Okay.
So
I mean the podcast Prohibition, not the alcohol one.
Right, of 1876.
Yeah.
Which was actually before he made the first podcast, which was real interesting.
Yeah, I never got that.
It's like, doesn't even exist yet, you fucking idiots. Can you imagine a prohibition now for alcohol?
That'd be nuts.
That would be...
It wouldn't work. No one could do it.
I think, the state of... don't want to sound like a political dude, but like of capitalism now, where it's just like, our businesses are way too fucking big. You could never even try that.
Yeah. No, that'd be nuts.
I think it's going to be really weird to see, just because we grew up when we did, to see weed be like so normal eventually.
Yeah. People are just going to drink it like it's beer now. Probably.
Drink the weed?
Yeah.
And like an edible, or are you saying like they're just going to mix it up into...
Well, because like early alcohol, people were like munching it and smoking it, trying to figure it out. But now now we know you drink it.
That's any substance you finally find out that you drink it.
You drink it. Pizza too. 10 years from now, we'll only be drinking pizza.
Do you think there'll be like weed Super Bowl commercials and stuff like that?
What if that happened this year? I could almost see that happening.
It could for the statement of it, but actually, I don't know.
And the LA Rams are in the Super Bowl.
But are you allowed to run I don't think you're allowed to run a weed ad still.
No, because
it's not legal
you can't do cigarette ads on TV at all.
Right.
So
like, I don't think the laws are ready for that. But I think eventually there would be.
Probably.
Because, I mean, it's going to be, you see from states that legalized it, and I'm talking just from a business perspective, make a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. So whenever it does get legalized for the country, which I'm just saying not of like pushing for it, or it seems like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just going to be giant businesses. Who's going to be the Coca-Cola of weed?
Oh, I don't know.
It's going to be like fucking Pauly Shore.
Just him.
Just him. He's the face of it. It's not even called weed. It's just called like Pauly.
Yeah.
That's the new term for weed on the Gus Eddy podcast is Pauly Shore.
Yo. You guys want to have some Pauly? I don't know his voice enough.
It's very bro-y. It's very surfer.
Surfer? I do remember he talked really slow and a lot of his stuff. That's pretty good.
I'm hearing Pauly come out a little bit.
Thank you.
He just what was that?
Some Pauly.
You were doing some Pauly there? Can you do the motion you just did? Because I think it was so fast I missed it. So, in the same hand.
Yep.
Is that a lighter?
This was an already lit marijuana cigarette. Okay. I flipped it up and it landed in my lip like this, like Bugs Bunny with the big chomping cigar, and I went, and I simultaneously exhaled and spit the cigarette out.
Okay. I want you to know that you said Bugs Bunny with the big, and so you said chomping, but everybody's gonna be thinking in that moment that you were gonna say Big Chungus.
Big Chungus.
Which is a weird, confusing meme because
I like it.
I like Big Chungus, but it's never made me laugh.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's one where you're like, oh, weird. And that's it. So I get why people are like, dead meme.
What's one of your favorite memes in the last couple of years? Just like stupid, shitty memes.
It doesn't. This one's not specifically a meme, but it's that picture of the dad holding his baby like it's a sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's the little black kid that's like his face is up and he looks kind of like he's dazed.
Oh,
and
like
it's because
yeah,
like his dad was holding him like one hand by the torso.
Yeah,
and he I think tweeted it, and it originally became a meme because somebody quote tweeted it was like, "Yo, why are you holding your son like a sandwich?" So that picture I love a lot. I think I've talked about it before, honestly.
I love it. It's one of the best reaction memes.
Yeah.
Like, bro. I like, in terms of like dumb, stupid shit memes, I really liked Dat Boi a lot.
Dat Boi was when I got into me in real life. Mm-hmm. And if you don't remember Dat Boi, you got to Google it. It's not going to even work anymore. Yeah. But Dat Boi was, I think, honestly, this sounds funny, but groundbreaking as a meme.
Yeah.
Because it brought us into the age of like something doesn't even need to make any fucking sense, and it's funny to you for some reason. It was like we were evolving into the next age of internet jokes, I think. And that's why it was such a big deal for a while. It's just like, I don't fucking know, man. It's just hilarious. Like, I would cry laughing at some of the memes on Me in Real Life with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, because
it's not dumb. It doesn't seem like it's even based on anyone. I love the concept of coming up with an original phrase. It had two phrases that were iconic too. Here come Dat Boi and oh shit, what up? And then it's just a fucking frog on a unicycle.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. It seemed like to be one of the true wholly original memes.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the thing is, I think you can always try and trace why you're laughing at a meme, and it never really fully works. But I think that one got me in the beginning so much because it was the first time where you're just like, somebody just threw some shit together.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's making me laugh.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have, like, it's the thought of some guy being like, all right, so there's a frog on the unicycle. And then somebody says, here come Dat Boi. And then he, like, turns basically, oh shit, what up? Like, it's actually making me laugh more now than it did.
Yeah.
That's what with some memes, you know, they can go down and be like a dead meme. And then you think about it like a year later and you're like, that's funny again.
Yeah. You know what's weird too is like, because we were talking last night, we were all playing Black Ops, and and we were saying, I joked that I'm almost at the point with memes where I won't even laugh unless the meme doesn't make any sense. Like if there's a well-structured joke, I'll be like, but it just needs to be hot garbage compacted together.
And the thing is, it's very, very, very hit or miss with those. You know, it's like one you'll see and you'll be like, that's just dumb and random. Mm-hmm. But then another thing that's completely dumb and random will have me like crying laughing. Yeah. It's genuinely, I think we're getting to a point where the internet is breaking our brains.
Probably.
A little bit, where it's like, our kids are going to think that every single thing we laughed at on the internet is not funny. Every meme will be dead by then. And humor on the internet moves so fast that you'll be like, you can't even try to show memes from when we're younger to your kids in the future.
But do you think that these stupid nonsense memes will hold up more than like traditional format memes?
But they don't even hold up like with us. They get like they don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They lose their charm, but I guess maybe if somebody's seen it for the first time.
To a fresh audience though.
But also what is funny with those is whenever you see one of those memes, don't you automatically assume that it's like a new meme that you've never seen before?
Yeah.
Like as in new as in it was just made.
Yeah, like instantly.
Yeah, whenever I see a really good one, I think like, oh, this was probably like a good subreddit for memes or a good like Instagram account for memes, and this went up today.
Yeah.
When it could be even like 3 months old.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Because I'm trying to liken it to something else in like pop culture that's like what kind of comedy has aged well. I don't know if this is too much of a stretch of a comparison, but you know, like stuff like the Naked Gun movies and stuff. You ever see those? Just those. Where like a lot of the comedy in it is just fucking stupid pointless.
But it works.
But it works still.
For some reason, there's a weird line that you skate with it. And I think there's another movie too that I couldn't think of. Where like if somebody else tried it, that movie would be trash.
Yes.
But for some reason, you're just like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, which Naked Gun movie is it where he's bribing the dude and he's handing the money back to him?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think it's the first one. I don't know.
If that was in Lele Pond's sketch, I would be like, this is some stupid shit. Yeah. But just like when somebody good does it, it works. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's like when people try to do, oh, so funny, it's random stuff, and they're just not good at comedy, then it doesn't work. And people who are really good at comedy can do that and make it work.
Yes, totally. One of the things that I laughed at super hard, and I got to take it with a big grain of salt because it's from the first Naked Gun movie, I believe. And I don't know if you know that, but a guy called O.J. Simpson is in those movies.
What? When? Was it a small cameo?
I don't know. What is he doing?
You don't know?
Wait, just out of curiosity, I want to see what's the latest entry on his filmography on Wikipedia, though.
Do you think it... I actually don't know.
I don't know.
He played Cuba Gooding Jr. in the new crime series.
That was a controversial choice, yeah.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Did you hear that voice come from our apartment?
I think it might have been from the...
That was weird.
Yeah.
Have him on. Come on.
Yeah, you guys want to be on the podcast?
When is this? You guys that play Smash really loud at 2 a.m.?
Wait.
Get
the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm not even looking. Just years. What do you think is the latest entry on his filmography?
I think he did at least... Wait, does he count in the filmography of
Sacha Baron Cohen's show?
Yeah.
I don't know. If
you're
filmed against your will,
but like he did appear on it.
It is, yeah. He's got a credit for Who Is America.
So then it's like if people use footage of him, that usually doesn't count. So, but he like appeared on that show, even though he didn't mean to.
Yeah. Here's what I love. Here's what I love. I'm looking at his entries and his latest one because it says the year, the program, and who he played. So it's 2018. Who Is America? Himself. And then the entry right before that is 2011. Jail. Himself.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a show or something.
That would be really funny if it's just a Wikipedia meme that somebody did.
Just jail.
Like he appeared in jail.
No,
isn't 2011 when he went to jail for the? I don't know if it's that year, but okay, for the trophy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
2008, I believe. Yeah. Goddamn.
I can't. Especially because we were young for it. I can't imagine. After like being an adult during the OJ trials and then hearing about him again in 2008 getting arrested, you just be like, what the fuck?
He got his ass handed to him in court too for that 2008 shit because that was a total like makeup call for clearly fucking murdering.
Yeah, because it was just like the country had settled down and then the country had pretty much decided he did it
Yeah.
altogether, and then it's like, oh, we get to sentence him again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, the Naked Gun bit, I'm sorry for giving OJ even a little bit of credit. I'm going to credit the writers on it. Was so fucking funny is he walks onto a ship and there's a bunch of bad guys on there and they shoot him. So he's like dying, and as he's dying, he does a couple things, like he hits his head and he goes, "Oh," all the pain getting at him. Hits his head. "Oh." He like stumbles over, puts his hand on a hot stove. "Oh." And then as he's dying, he backs into a wall freshly painted that says wet paint, and it gets on his jacket and he goes, "Oh no."
That's a really good bit.
That is a good bit.
Again, it's just like, if anyone else attempted that stuff, it would be really dumb. But sometimes I love those. I mean, well, the thing is, I think a good example of the two are like the first Scary Movie is really funny.
Yeah.
And the second one is still funny, but gets a little of the like dumb for the sake of dumb. And then you go into like the not made by them, but the like spin-offs, like Disaster Movie.
Yes.
And the one that was supposed to be fucking Narnia, Epic Movie. That's the bad kind.
Yeah.
Where you're like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking awful.
Yeah, and they just think random equals funny, and if you throw in pop culture references, then you got a movie. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that like stupid jokes are sometimes harder to pull off than like typical format jokes.
Because it's a very thin line that you walk.
Exactly.
Thin like my peen, thin and long, you know? Sorry?
How many millies we talking?
We're talking maybe one.
Single Millie Bean?
Single Millie Peen.
That was actually Milli Vanilli's first single.
Single Millie Peen.
Single Millie Bean. I don't know how it was to the Baby Bottle Pop. What's Milli Vanilli doing these days? You remember? Do you remember about them?
I know of them, but I don't. What do you mean remember about them?
I don't know if you like heard the story from
okay.
before. So for those of our viewers at home that don't know about Milli Vanilli, they were like a pop duo in the 90s, I think. And they had they won a Grammy for like best new artist or whatever. And then it came out that like they weren't singing the music that was on the album.
I didn't even know that. I just know Milli Vanilli from like the references I've seen.
Isn't that nuts though?
Yeah.
Like they won a Grammy and they weren't singing. Every time they did live performances, they were lip syncing. And they were at a show and one of their tracks skipped, like
Okay, yeah, that's the weird thing though, is was a scandal before, but now it's really normal.
Right?
Yeah, like
but they never, it wasn't their own voice.
Oh, okay. So
like
they didn't
somebody
even
else.
they
didn't even record
bizarre.
the studio
What the
album.
fuck?
What the hell is that all about? Lip syncing and backlash. What's their? Yeah, they haven't put out anything since 1991.
All right.
Shame and a half right there.
Well, didn't I mean, she recorded it still, but do you remember the Ashley Simpson thing?
Oh yeah, where it was skipping and she was just sing the same thing.
I would say her career was completely ruined by that scandal. But she was just doing it at a concert, and that's so normal now.
Yeah.
Like, I remember thinking, oh, you can't do that anymore. And then it was like years ago, Bieber threw up on stage, and the song kept going. And I was like, holy shit, are people freaking out that he was doing it? And I didn't know that, no, like everybody does now.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but
that was very brave of him to continue singing through actively throwing up on stage.
Yeah, he's a brilliant ventriloquist while it was happening.
It was like, baby, baby. Probably didn't need to do that. You already had the picture.
I got it, but I appreciated it because now I really know what it sounded like.
Thank God. I'm going to look up Ashley Simpson. She's only 34. I feel like she should have been 45. I haven't heard about her in a long time.
Yeah, well, she must have been really young then when that happened.
Yeah, goddamn. Last album was in 2008. That was 11 years ago. Aren't we old?
That's the thing is I never say that like, oh my God, I feel so old. I just say I don't like it now. Where it's like that is the feeling, but the internet has been like, the feel old yet meme was kind of making fun of that.
Yeah. That was the year that Obama was entered into office. I remember watching his inauguration. I think I was in 7th grade. It's like watching it on the TV.
Yeah, we were in 6th, or I was in 6th grade and we were watching it. Yeah.
That's so weird. It's just like, the new president is coming in. Like, let's turn on the big tube TV that they put in the corner. Whose idea was it in every classroom in the mid-2000s to late 90s to bolt the tube TV in the top corner of the classroom?
We didn't have that shit. We didn't have it in our school, but even in my mom's school, it was there. And I remember being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, no one's watching that.
Yeah.
Put it down. Put it on a cart. Roll it in.
Carts are classic.
Yeah.
Because we'd still watch on those because, you'd be in, like, music class where you never watched anything. And then they would get lucky enough the teacher to be able to show one music video.
There you go. Do you remember those little Elmo cart things? The Elmo like projector things?
Yeah.
I miss those things.
Those were. I remember one time I had a teacher like use one of those before a test and accidentally put the answers under the camera. Yeah. So it was just like log it. She's like, oh, okay. And then she didn't rewrite the test, so
I love it.
Just memorized as much as I could.
I love it.
Do you think that this podcast is bad?
I've been praying on it a lot.
Okay. You doing the good old Chris Pratt?
Yeah. I was going to do a joke like, every time I shoot a sheep in my backyard, I think about
shoot a sheep.
The quality of our podcast.
The thought of like hunting a sheep in your own backyard.
Do you think Chris Pratt lets the sheep out to like give him a little bit of like hunt fair chase stuff? Like,
the most dangerous game is hunting sheep.
Slap it on the ass and give it like a 10-minute lead.
Oh, kinky, you know?
It's just going to sit there in the front yard like, can I come back in?
What? I have a question for you. Sorry, I'm changing the subject. Because I have an answer to it. What is the biggest like cheating thing that happened at your high school?
Like students cheating on stuff? Or
yeah.
I don't know. Oh, people started doing a little bit in terms of like cheating on stuff is people started we had these like gummy erasers, that you could kind of like fold into each other or whatever. It was just like some stupid novelty toy stuff. But people started realizing if you like flattened them out before a test, you could like write on them with Sharpie, like get some answers and stuff. So if you went into a math test, you could write some like equations and stuff, and then kind of like just fold it over or whatever. So it just looks like a hunk of eraser. And then you get in there and you can like kind of carefully unpeel it and you can still see it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those like small kind of cheating
just
things in high school. Yeah.
And then like for some reason, there are probably way better ways to cheat,
Yeah. Well, the biggest one for math stuff is to just when you put the cover on your calculator, just have like a little slip of paper.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I never did it for like answers I had, but with math, you're like, I need to remember this one formula. I'm just gonna fucking write it down here so I don't have to remember it.
I used to write them on my finger when I was in like middle school and stuff.
My friend did it once where in 8th grade, he cheated on a math test by writing a bunch of formulas on his hand.
Yeah.
But then while he was taking the test, he like forgot and just had his hand open. So the teacher walked past and was just like, get out in the hallway. We got to talk about this. Just like a full hand of written stuff.
Yeah.
The one for us, the reason I asked, because I just remember this, I don't know why, I haven't thought about it in years, was for my freshman year for my I don't want to talk about the class because I don't want to specify, but one of my friends who our district had a lot of money because of the mall and like business area near us, so it wasn't like the houses near us were rich people, but like the district had money because a lot of businesses were paying to the town.
Yeah.
So like, you're kind of when you're in high school, just like in a full fuck this high school mode. So one of my friends has like he's a tall guy too, but has like really big hands. So one thing, like just for it, like when we'd go into the cafeteria, he's so good at it because his hands are so big too. He would just like grab a bottle of water or like a juice and put it in his pocket really quick, and nobody would notice, and he'd walk out, like because it would be where you'd buy the shit, So one time he was just like really good. He never like stole real stuff. But like, I mean, I guess that counts. But he would never like go to a store and shoplift or anything like that. But our freshman year, we had finals, and the finals had numbers on them.
Yeah.
So you keep track of them. And he was in like second period for that class, and he had a friend who was in third period.
Yeah.
And he straight up took one of the tests. Went to the cafeteria during the period, like in between, or I mean what the fuck did we call that? The time in between, the 5 minutes.
The passing time?
Passing time, yeah. So during that, like brought it to the cafeteria. Him and his friend copied down like all of the answers, and then his friend brought it back and like put it in the stack as he walked into class.
Oh, that's smart.
So then they were just giving it out during lunch. Whereas like I hadn't taken it yet, and they were just like, "Do you want all the answers to the test?"
Yeah.
It's like they were just giving it to everybody. So that was like it was almost like an Ocean's 11 like scheme thing. It was really clever of them.
That's the thing, though, is like if you're going to do that, you got to tell most people, be like, you can't get every answer right.
Yeah.
Like you got to bomb a couple of them to throw it off, you know? I remember in 8th grade, there was a kid in my class that I thought that was so smart. But like going into tests and stuff, he had like a really thin, fine tip. You know those like vis-a-vis, like dry erase markers, or whatever?
I'm trying to, no.
They're just like really fine point. But he had one that was so tiny, like a real fine tip Sharpie. And he would just write little things on his fingernails on his left hand. And he would just like kind of keep it like this. And genuinely, like if the teacher would come by, like in the event, he would say like, yeah, if the teacher comes by, he showed us. You just like put your hand on your lap and with one wipe without even looking, it's all wiped off because it's dry erase on your fingernails. I was like, God damn, that guy deserves an A.
Yeah. Did I? Because the thing is, I think everyone listening, I mean, some might be fucking nerds, but hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's one counter for the high five for this episode. But everyone did that like little cheating stuff, and I loved listening to people tell me about it.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time where I almost got caught with one of those small ones, but my ass got saved for I don't know what happened, but when you miss a day, did you guys have like a room where there'd be like a volunteer, not volunteer, but they weren't like a teacher or anything, but they would have test makeup for it, like a separate room for test makeup? Yeah, so we had the separate room for test makeup. And I remember I was taking a math test, and I really needed to get a good grade on it because I sucked at math. Mm-hmm. So I did put the sheet of paper in my calculator, and it wasn't even like full give me answers to it. It was just like the basics so I wouldn't forget when I was doing the problems,
Yeah.
And I'm starting to like use it and everything, and I'm making sure looking up because there's the person who worked there like would watch everyone take their test to make sure nobody cheats. And there's like a couple more people in there. And I'm like just writing or like doing the test. And then I just hear like, what is that? I'm like,
oh my God, heart attack.
Yeah. And I'm like, don't look up. I hear walking toward me, and I hear, what is that you have? And I like look up, and I look at her, and she walks right past me to the person in the aisle next to me, behind me. He's like, is this a cheat sheet? And I just immediately ate it. It was a small one. I just like put it under my tongue, and I was like, holy shit. Like completely walked past me and caught somebody else cheating right next to me.
Jesus, dude.
I swallowed that paper that day.
Yeah.
It's still in there somewhere. It was just a little, like it was a full, like I ripped off, it was so little information that I ripped it off the corner of a notebook paper. Yeah. So it wasn't like imagine a full cheat sheet. Just it's a macro.
What is that? It was 2 8.5 by 11 plastic Elmo screen sheets.
Trying to be in you forever.
One that I really thought was clever too is there was a girl in my econ class in college, and because like I always loved like hearing the little ways that like people like cheat around stuff. Yeah. She had like Chucks. She had Converse shoes, and they were white, and she would scribble tons of little words and designs and phrases all over them. And I was like, oh, I like your shoes. And she told me she goes like, thank you. Like for tests and stuff, I will add like little equations and like little info that I need. And I remember where I write them on my shoe. So I can look down and be like, oh, I wrote that equation like on my toe.
That's
like
genius.
It blends in.
Yeah. And especially if you're looking, something in your lap, teachers notice a lot. But if it's like you look down at your shoe to the side, nobody's going to notice that.
Yeah.
I miss getting away with those. Honestly, I do. I miss the little things. And I really didn't do it for most tests. Or not even like, it would probably be maybe once or twice a year that I would do it.
Yeah.
There were too many fucking tests in high school.
Yeah. They were really regular. Like college, there was like maybe you get a couple big ones a semester, but high school, it seemed like sometimes weekly.
Yeah. It was like every other week, it was a giant test for one of the classes at least.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, and it wasn't even based on, like the end of a semester or anything like that. Like we would have those. But just what I hated the most is, and this is in college too, the first day of math, where like every other first day is like, here's the syllabus, blah, blah, blah. Like here's how we're going to run the class. Maybe we'll get to know each other. In college, they let you out early most likely.
Yeah.
I hate in high school and college. It's like, all right, guys, fun's over. We got to start a chapter today. It's like your first day of school for any semester anywhere. They're just like, all right, it's time to do math on your first day.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, honestly.
Did you ever have to take a foods class or like a home ec or something?
No, I had to take that wasn't one of the like required electives. The two required electives for us that everyone did during summer school, or most people did, was it was health for one of them, and then also it wasn't like a finance class. I forgot the name of it, but it was like teaching like economic knowledge to people.
Yeah. I love foods class. There's no good high school foods class. If you're taking a high school foods class, it's a disaster. You don't really learn anything. Maybe you learn some cooking skills like how to measure and how to like braise and stuff.
Yeah, but you have to cook in that time frame, and then it's like, it's been 45 minutes. Get the fuck out of here.
It's a joke. You can't put developing teenagers into a room and say, here's a bunch of fun foods. Okay, make stuff and don't like throw things and burn things and try to learn at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, no one's absorbing any information.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's disgusting. And then everyone's always like leaving the food class too. I would always, because I was starving all the time in high school. We already talked about this.
Yeah.
And I'd try to get food from people, you know, that were in the food classes. Like, oh, dude, can I have one of those muffins? They taste like shit. Always. It's terrible.
For me, it was that, like, I don't think the class was good still, but some of my friends were like pretty decent at like cooking in the class.
Yep.
So I told you, same here. I was starving during school, and they just like walk in the hallway to their locker next to me and just have like a hot brownie that they were planning on eating, and I would just be, it's torture, dude. It's fucking torture. High school is in the not actual form of torture, but in the way of just saying like small inconveniences all the time, was exactly what I think somebody who was trying to torture me would plan my day to be like.
Yeah.
Other than like real actual pain.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're really tired. You have to be here for a long time. You procrastinate everything, and that's always crashing down on you.
Yes.
And then it's just like, so stay awake, and when you get home, you'll have more of this to do, and if you don't do it, you'll be more stressed tomorrow. Sometimes I'd be on the bus being like, I just want to fucking sprint back home. I have like 5 assignments that I haven't done, and I'm just going back to tell every teacher like, hey, sorry. It's never as bad as you'd think it would be, though.
No, that's true.
So if you're procrastinating your homework right now and you're in high school, don't do it. It won't be so bad.
I learned that my senior year, and I was just like, I mean, I know you're doing a bit.
But no, actually, I was about to agree with you.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't need to do most of this stuff.
Yeah, for me, I think it was because I mean, were you planning on going to do you say your college publicly?
Yeah, I went to UW Stout.
Okay, did you plan on going to Stout for a type of entertainment while you were in high school?
I just knew camera stuff. Like they just said, we have a digital cinema degree. So I was like, I'll go there.
Okay.
I was so lazy with it. I was getting bad grades in high school. I was like B's and C's and shit. And then I was like, I got to do a college tour. It's late. And then I was like, fine, I'll do Stout. They have digital cinema. I don't want to do another college tour. So I literally went to Stout because I didn't want to do another college tour.
Well, that's the thing is I knew I was going to community college, and after I was going to do which I'm so glad I didn't end up doing, but I was going to go to Columbia, Chicago for film. Not so glad. Like, I would have loved to live in Chicago and everything like that, but film school financially would have wrecked me completely. So it's much better now to be in this situation. But I knew I was going to community college, and then the acceptance rate for Columbia is like 92%, where it's basically like, turn in your like resume for it, like apply to this college and we'll accept you.
Yeah.
So like once I decided or found out that I was going to do those, I was like, I think it was my junior year. I was like, a lot of this just doesn't matter. Like a lot of these grades, genuinely, I could have passed high school barely, which I didn't. I got pretty good grades, even though I procrastinated all the time because I would befriend the teacher and then get them to not do favors, but just let me hand in the assignment a little later.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where it's like, again, it was never like, oh, we're going to fix this grade for you just because I like you, but it would be like, hey, I'm fucking terrible at this. Can I turn this in 2 days? And they'd just be like, yeah, that's fine. So actually, I feel like a lot of my high school teachers, I should thank them more for letting me get through. But like I could have barely passed high school with the worst grades possible. And then once I went to community college, nothing would have followed me at all. And then going from community college, I could have barely passed that, and then go to film school. The acceptance rate was incredible. But instead of that, I did YouTube instead. Yeah. So really, none of my schooling mattered other than what it actually did to my brain.
Yeah.
Like none of my records for school. At this moment, I'm 22 years old. I can confidently say I don't remember any of my college GPAs. I don't remember any semester of my high school GPAs. And they will literally never matter for me.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm like going back to not do entertainment, like let's say YouTube shuts down tomorrow, I'm not going to fucking do a job that is going to need my GPA. My brain doesn't work like that, you know?
What am I going to be, a stockbroker?
Yeah.
I got a 2.54 GPA in college. That's bad in case you don't know GPA. That's really bad.
I tried for a while because when YouTube, I told you my plan still was like do YouTube and tell everyone I'm going to Columbia. But I still was looking at it. And Columbia had a really significant scholarship program if you got, I think it was above like a 3.0 GPA. Mm-hmm. And in college, even though I procrastinated a ton, my grades were all right. Like, they weren't bad. But I remember, like, my first semester of college kicked my ass.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I think it does for most people. Mm-hmm. But what I hate about the first semester of college is, and I was just in community college, other people are making adjustments of living on their own for the first time, is like any semester, if your GPA is bad, it fucks years of your life up if you're trying to get your GPA up. Yeah. So like I got, I think, straight C's. That was the worst grades I've ever. I got an A in one class and then C's in, how many classes I take? It's a C's in 3. Yeah. And those are the worst grades I've ever gotten, even though I'm not. Well, I think, I don't know if we've talked about this, but my friend and I were talking about like you can get good grades in high school and college if you know how to skate by correctly.
That's it.
Yeah. So then with that, like, even though I did that stuff, like, those were the worst grades I'd ever gotten, and it fucked the rest of my semesters up for trying to get that scholarship. So I'm really glad YouTube worked out and I didn't have to do any of that shit.
I was limping through, though. I hardly passed. I did not deserve to pass college.
No. I would say it as your friend. You did not.
I did not. I probably, over 4 years of college, not including just, like, art projects that I'd go in and do, I maybe did 15 hours of homework total for 4 years of college.
That's a really low.
That is most normal students will do that in 1 to 2 weeks. 15 hours of homework in 1 to 2 weeks.
Well, I'd say really committed students.
Yeah,
probably.
like the good fellas and ladies.
I'd always see that in high school, like friends of mine that were so committed. Because I totally understand it if you're trying to do something like that's very meaningful and helps the world, like being a doctor, unlike us two fucking dumb YouTubers talking about it. But like, so if you're busting your ass in high school trying to be a doctor and everything like that, one, keep going, you're doing great. But also, it's just, I would look at my friends who did that and I'd just be like, you spent like 10 hours at the library today and it's Saturday and I literally just played video games all day. Yeah. And I truly was like, for some people who weren't going to be doctors, that they just want to get like business jobs, I was just thinking like, dude, this is, you're wasting your time. Like, you're going to end up somewhere near me. Like, especially when you knew the school your friend was going to, you're like, dude, you're basically fucking in. So why are you doing this? You know? Sorry, this is going to discourage so many people from doing their homework.
Stop trying. Don't apply yourself.
The thing is, if everybody thought like us, then society would be ruined.
Do you think we're good role models or probably bad ones?
I would say, you know what? I would say good. Because the thing is, like, we knew it sounds like bad, but weren't capable of. I am not capable of doing any job that considers math at all. And, like, I truly was like, I will not be happy unless I do something in entertainment. Like, my brain shoves away every other... I hate that I have my brain so much, like I'm saying it's like me specifically, but you get what I'm saying. I shove away any other possibility of a job. And then, like, we went for it, and it worked. So I think that's a pretty good... I mean, like, we had decent plans, too. Yeah. Like, in case it didn't work out. Like, you were getting the degree, and then I was doing the school stuff.
I was probably going to, like, maybe... I mean, that's the thing is, like, I could have maybe gone and worked for, like, a news station or something like that. Yeah. I probably would have been fine with it, too. It wasn't what I wanted to do the most, but I would have been fine with it. But do you want to look at some questions?
Yeah, dude.
All right, I got a banging question here. Again, follow us on Twitter at GusBuckets and at Eddie Burback, and we'll answer your questions. At Probably Eggnog asks, if you were only allowed to use a single profanity for the rest of your lives, which would you pick? It's a good one.
Easily fuck. I say it too much.
Yeah, I'd pick fuck too.
Yeah, it's just like, it's the one that applies to... I mean, you can put it in every sentence, basically.
That's it. Yeah, it's moldable.
Yeah.
I like that one. Good question.
I would miss shit, though. I really would miss shit.
Yeah, shit's a good one. Shit is probably one of the funniest.
Yeah.
Like swear words, too.
I would say shidded is a little bit funny.
I would choose Camed.
Camed
as my
the
number.
only. I don't cuss except for camed.
Can you imagine stubbing your toe and saying, camed?
There was a tweet that I wanted to put out last night, but I didn't because, one, I don't truly believe I want to die on this hill for debating it.
Yes.
It was me just saying a thought, not really actually. But in my opinion, saying as an adult that you do not swear. Let's say it's not for religious reasons or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Saying I do not cuss, I think is a little bit more childish than swearing all the time.
I think if you don't swear as an adult, that's fine. But if you say you don't,
that's
swear,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not swearing is totally fine. But if you tell people I do not swear, it's
what do you think, you're better than me?
Yeah, it's not even just that where it's why are you placing so much meaning on these words? You make them cut deeper if you say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a little pretentious to say that.
Yeah,
too.
Because if you don't swear, that's fine. It's just not part of your vocabulary.
Yeah,
that's okay.
That's the thing is my dad pretty much doesn't swear. My dad is one of the best men on the planet, period. I remember 4 years ago moving a dresser with him, and it slipped and fell, and it almost just crushed his hand. It barely missed him, and he went, son of a bitch. And then a minute later he goes, I'm really sorry for saying that, losing my cool. I was Dad, you almost broke your hand. He's just such a good guy. But he doesn't go around, saying I don't swear and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's live your life how you want to do, and don't fucking rub it in my face.
That's why, especially, I didn't put the tweet out, because I was I cannot put this into a short tweet of trying to specify what I mean.
Yes.
So now I said it on our podcast.
There you go. At Cat City Feathers asks, if you died and became a ghost, how would you live your afterlife? Who would you haunt? Where would you haunt?
Do you think you would genuinely haunt somebody?
If it was go to whatever may lie beyond or haunt someone, obviously I'd fucking roll the dice.
Yeah.
Would I haunt somebody? They would have had to do some real heinous shit to me.
That's the thing is instantly I thought what if you were a ghost vigilante and you just haunted the shit out of the worst people?
Yeah.
And since you're a ghost, you can make sure they're that bad.
Yeah.
Because you can just hover around for a while.
You can do that.
And then, do you think that's what Casper was about? Do you think they just commit the girls in the two movies commit some heinous crimes and he was just trying to fuck with them, but he's too nice? Okay.
They were serial murderers.
Who in history would you not? The worst person. Who would be the funniest person to haunt?
Are you haunting them ironically to fuck with them, or are you ruining their lives?
You can make the choice. I think putting those both together, I think it would be fucking hilarious now to haunt Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
That would be, imagine the reactions of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
When you'd scare him. Oh.
What's going on, Mr. Cosby? The people in the cell next door.
Should we mention Tony's joke of the fucking? So Tony made a joke in our group chat that was it was right when Bill Cosby went to prison, which was a couple months ago. I think it was October.
Yeah.
And it was the headline was real, and it was Bill Cosby hit in the head with a hot dog bun, falls down a flight of stairs, which is already hilarious.
Yeah.
But then Tony texted it was lifetime funny man never knows when to turn it off. He's still entertaining people in prison.
He's I'm 80. I know I don't want to tumble down the stairs, but I just gotta do it.
The people gotta see it.
I can't see. I'll probably break some bones. I gotta go down.
The people want what they want, man.
Lifetime funny man.
Oh, man. But yeah, so I would definitely, I think I would haunt Bill Cosby. I think that would entertain me and also be some good justice.
Plus, also, it's not even a long stint.
Yeah, you just do it for a little bit.
Maybe a couple weeks.
Dip your toes.
Then you're done.
Isn't it? Wait, so Bill Cosby's in a jail cell right now, right?
Yeah, he's straight up in a jail
That's
cell.
fucking crazy to think about, dude.
What do you think he does with his day? Because I think he's genuinely blind right now, too.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I mean, the thing is, I'm sure it kind of wears off of the holy shit, Bill Cosby's in prison with us.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming probably lives a sad old man life in jail.
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
No.
But I don't think it's pitying him to say that's probably the least enviable existence ever. Is sitting there, you're blind, you're vulnerable. Honestly,
you're famous for now being disgraced too.
Yes. Can you imagine I'm not feeling sorry for him, but can you imagine building up such a legacy like that for your entire life and then going blind and failing health-wise and then seeing that all disappear?
It's like a fucked up alternate universe thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the same thing for like fans too, where it's like, him?
Yeah.
What?
No, that sucks.
Yeah. Do you think there's got to be like one like celebrity that's beloved that like something's brewing right now?
Probably.
Right?
I wonder who it is.
I don't know. It's probably Jamie from Joe Rogan's podcast.
Probably.
He's just a fucking monster.
He does more than just pull things up. Here's a good one. I don't know if this is too heavy. Somebody quote retweeted another person at Ash Radical. Oh, they quote retweeted themselves. Sick move, Ash Radical. She asks, what makes someone redeemable? I'm curious if there's a limit of bad things that someone can do before you're like, no, this person sucks. Or if there's specific things that are unforgivable.
Well, there are that I don't think I would want to list. But personally, for me, I would say on the smaller scale of things, we're not talking about like the worst crimes. Mm-hmm. I think somebody is redeemable if they do something, they fully express like a real like campaign to express how sorry they are and how much they've changed. Mm-hmm. And then they have years of proving that.
Yeah.
That's where somebody gets so what makes somebody kind of irredeemable to me is if they're doing something and then they realize the scope of the harm that they're doing and they keep going.
And that's the thing is like that would probably be my answer, but that's an answer that you have to maybe try to see if it applies on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
too.
it's not like a solid thing.
Like if you had someone that like raped 10 people, I'd be like,
there's not
you're
a chance.
Done.
There's not a
fuck
chance.
You forever.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Because I mean, there's no way you could be like, oh, I'm sorry I did that. It's like shut the fuck up.
It's like
Get
shut
out
up,
of
dude. I don't fucking care.
I'll haunt them.
Good
really
dude.
will.
I'll haunt them. Josh Mitchell
just sounded so like clean too.
Oh,
it just didn't sound like you.
at J Dwayne 57 asks, do either of you guys enjoy fighting games? If so, what's your favorite?
I love fighting games. I would say, even though I've been into them for years, I'm still like recent with it because the fighting games that I've gotten into are like 4 of them maybe.
Yes.
The one that got me into it was Mortal Kombat 9, and I loved that game. I loved Mortal Kombat X even more. And even though, like, since I wasn't, like, a Nintendo kid, Mortal Kombat, I would say, because it got me into fighting games, is, like, more special to me than Smash is. Mm-hmm. Smash is a better game, without a doubt, I think.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's weird. It's just whatever your taste is with those fighting games. Because they're 2 completely separate games. But I think Smash has the legs of just, like, not only fun party stuff, like Smash has a thing of like everybody can join in. Mortal Kombat, if you want to have like a Mortal Kombat hangout, it's like 2 of you have to face off against each other every time.
And in my experience, most of the time it's 1 or 2 people like at the hangout saying like, let's play Mortal Kombat, and they're the people that are god tier Mortal Kombat, and they just wipe the floor, and you're like, how'd you kill me? Well, I just did the up square B. It's like, fuck you.
That's
you just
why
wipe the
you've
floor
never seen me ask you to play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
What's the
like,
point?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point?
Yeah.
I will say, because I think on a podcast before I had previously stated that my whole life I have hated Smash Bros. It's a great game, but I've been mad at myself for years because I couldn't figure it out. It's like, how am I not figuring this shit out by now? But a couple weeks ago, for the first time in my life, started getting in the groove, and I've been having fun with the new Smash. I'm starting to kind of understand it.
I mean, I think it's getting into any fighting game. Like, that's the bug that gets you. I mentioned this to Gus before, but I think it's when you start thinking about the direction and type of punch. I think it's when you start out for any fighting game, it's like button mashing the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you start being like, oh, when can I use the quicker punch, or when can I use the stronger one, or that's going to be slower. And then I think truly like getting into fighting games is when you start thinking of the direction you're going to use for that, because they're usually different moves for people who don't play.
Yeah.
So like say on Smash, down B is a completely different move than side B for every character. So like, not for every character, some of them might have similar stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. That's because that's what you said you started doing, right?
Yeah, I started like thinking like, oh, I should do this move. Yeah. What I even did too is like there are a couple times where people were fighting, and even just at the start of the map, I was like, I'm gonna just run to the side, look at a couple moves, and see, okay, that's gonna do that. Now I'll jump in.
Yeah,
and now I kind of know. That's a good one. This one comes. I won't say the name, but this is. I told you this, Eddie, a few weeks ago. I was just like, I was having a little nostalgia kick, and I was like, God damn, I really want to play Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
So I tweeted out and I was like, does anybody have a copy of Simpsons Hit and Run? Because I can't find it anywhere, and when I do find it online, it is expensive. Like there are many people selling it for over $100.
Yeah.
For the GameCube version of Simpsons Hit and Run.
You should say their name. We're reading out people who just ask questions. So they should definitely.
It was Cody Rogers. Thank you so much, Cody. You're the goddamn best. He and his girlfriend, I swear to God, I can't remember her name offhand. Skyla and Cody. They hit me up and they like retweeted at me and were just like, hey, we got a copy. Because I had tweeted and I was like, let me buy it off of you, you know?
Yeah.
And they DM'd me and they were the nicest people. And not only, they said, we insist you can't pay us any money. We're going to send it to you for free. So they sent it to me, and I opened it up, and it was the game. They didn't charge me a goddamn thing. They made me a Christmas card, and they custom-made working man fan art, and they had a little USB stick with the sweetest note in it. And it's that kind of shit, especially like when we talk lately, you know, we've been dealing with so many negative people based on just the subject matter of like the videos that we made lately. Yeah. It's that kind of stuff where you just feel like so thankful that there are such wonderful people out there.
Like seriously, like to you too. It had nothing to do with me, but like thank you for being great people.
Wonderful. Totally made my week. That was the bomb. I've been playing the game like crazy. I'm stuck on Apu's level. Help me, please.
Well, don't just wait a little bit and it'll be out of the game.
Oh, dude, they'll delete. They'll patch the 2004 game.
Oh, that even happens. Somebody has to come to your house
with a memory card. Hey, stick this one in instead.
They just scratch part of the like metal in the back.
Yeah.
Of it.
Thank you, wonderful people.
Oh, did they ask something though? Because you saw their name.
Yeah, that was just like, hey, did you enjoy the Simpsons game and the fan art or whatever? That was a banger. Also, he asked you, Eddie, I enjoyed your last video, but we need to see those kisses in action. When will we see them?
After. Oh, I was gonna say after Don't Pee January's done, but it's not. It's done.
It's not done. We're right at the very end of January when we record this one.
Yeah. So I completely forgot the question because my brain got twisted there. What did he ask again?
You gonna be kissing up a storm?
Yeah. So
people?
I definitely I think I'll change my channel and do a tutorial for it. I'll probably make a 10-part series for each type of kiss. For those of you who are not aware, I made a video on I think I even talked about it last week. Mm-hmm. Well, they might not listen to that. It's a video on like a class that teaches women how to kiss. So I'll go to each kiss and I'll make a 10-part series on each of them.
How long is each video?
40 minutes.
What is it just kissing? Or is there like prep, like chapstick and stuff?
It's the kiss in 10 different parts in 40-minute parts.
I think that's a little too much time. I just don't know about
10
that.
10 parts, 10 kisses for $10. The budget's $10.
Each?
No, the budget's $10 for the whole series.
You're acting like that's a deal. First of all, you shouldn't make them. Second of all, you shouldn't charge for them.
We'll make the money back.
We will make... Is this... You got other backers on this or what?
Oh, no. So you gotta have somebody to kiss, so...
Who are you going to kiss?
Not anybody that I'm looking in the eyes right now. So, maybe let's move on to the next question. Gus, let's move on to the next question.
When's Gus and Eddie 2 coming? I don't know.
Wait, what? The Gus and Eddie 2?
At Professor Pulp asks, well, he said, what are your top 3 favorite primary colors? But just tell me one. What's your favorite color? I don't know.
Blue, dude.
Duh. Red.
Come on, man.
Brush that shit off. Don't let that shit hold me down. You know me, rise and grind. I don't have time for that blue bullshit.
You talking about rose and grown? What did you say last week?
It was rose and grown. There's a banger at Zen Kiski asks, if you could spend a day with any celebrity dead or alive, who would it be?
I think we've been asked something like this before, and the one that I wouldn't because I'd be too scared is Dave Chappelle. I couldn't spend a normal day with Dave Chappelle, but I would like to, but I just couldn't.
That I would feel that way too.
It's like he does not seem like the person where you're like, I need to spend time with this dude.
Yeah, I think what I let me start that little word diarrhea
over. Go for it, dude.
I think that he would be so kind and pleasant with me, But I would know, and I don't even blame him. I would spend the whole day knowing that he did not give a fuck about me and he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, you'd be wasting his time.
Yes, and I don't blame him for a second.
So, like, anything would be like, Dave, you want to go get some lunch? And it's just like, in his head, it would be like, this fucking idiot, just let me go.
He'd say, this fucking idiot.
He did the flip again.
I did the
really
thing.
cool.
He did the big Chungus cigar thing.
His wasn't a marijuana cigarette, though. It was a Juul.
No, it was, he was jeweling on stage. I do like that in the comedy special when he asks the audience for a cigarette. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
That would be fun to be that guy 20 years from now. Be like, show your kids, like, hey, dude, it's Dave Chappelle. I gave him a cigarette.
Yeah. That's awesome. I really think, I just can't wait for the next thing Chappelle's going to make.
Oh, I know. I'm scared that it'll be his last special for a while and then he'll go into hiding for a while.
Yeah, I think I think he went into hiding specifically because of what happened with the show, and I think he's back now. Like, I don't think...
Yeah.
I think it was mainly the kind of, like, fuck Hollywood attitude, and now he came back as, like, a living legend. So it was like now he has the pull to do whatever the fuck he wants, which, like, you'd think he would have had before. But with all the rumored stuff with, I'm not going to mention any companies, but with whatever happened, he had an extremely successful show, and he still couldn't make decisions for himself.
Yeah, that stinks.
Not of the show, but financially.
Yeah.
So, like, now he's back, and it's like $50 million Netflix deal. So I think he'll be back for a while.
Good for that boy. Man.
What?
I always forget how old he is.
Oh, yeah.
He just seems so young in my mind. Even like when he's older or whatever, I just keep thinking like he's like 20. He's a boy. He's a lad like one of us.
He's a tiny little baby boy.
Tiny little fella.
That's the chain smokes.
At Emperor of Piss asks, if you could erase one YouTube video from ever having existed, which would you pick and why?
Erase one YouTube video?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude.
I'd pick I Feel Fantastic.
What is that?
You know that's a... Oh, you hear our fucking neighbors over there?
Yeah, I don't know if they can hear them, but they're really...
Yeah, they're going...
Also, I wouldn't say that too loud, because if we can hear them, they could probably hear us.
Do you think they're watching live right now? It's like,
they're
like, guys, wait.
We're tuning in, and we're like, we don't... It's not live. Did you drill a hole in the wall? That's
Shut
it.
up.
They drilled a hole in the wall, and they're watching live right here.
That makes sense now.
Hey, guys.
Hey. I Feel Fantastic. It's this really creepy video. I think it's kind of like a creepypasta thing where it's like, it was made by like a guy that murdered some people. But it's like a 3-minute video of like some mannequins shot in like a lo-fi like house or whatever, and there's this creepy music like I feel fantastic, and it just dude, it's nightmare fuel. I'd get that shit off of there.
Speaking of that, then you inspired me, Gus. You're my muse. But for my childhood's sake, Scary Car. Because every one of my friends, I didn't want to watch fucking Scary Car, and it was like a badge of honor if you had watched it, because it was basically like, hey, sit down and get scared really quick.
Yeah.
Just a jump scare, and I hated jump scares as a kid, and I still do.
Yeah.
So like that was a constant thing where it's like, Eddie didn't fucking watch Scary Car. I would delete that video so fast, dude.
Yeah.
God damn it. I need to bully my friends more. I'm still friends with them. I'll text them a good old fuck you.
There you go. At Auntie M's 14 asks, what's your favorite gym class game? Good question.
Scatterball.
What's Scatterball?
It was dodgeball, but there's no sides. Everybody's free for all for it. There's 2 balls, and if you get hit once, you're out.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like, so basically it's just if you get to the ball fast, you had a certain amount of steps when you get the ball, so you can just sprint around at somebody.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 steps. So there's 2 balls flying around, and something you can do it with 1 as well. But scatterball, because like whoever gets the ball, you fucking scatter away from them.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so it was actually more normal. I think was 1, and then we'd add in 2 when there was a lot of people. But yeah, we would play that in school, and it's just like it's such an entertaining game because it also has. It has like if you can throw fast, you're good. If you can get to the ball fast, but then there's also the drama of like. It was always really funny where, like, if 2 friends were, like, kind of in the finals around each other, where it's, like, one friend would grab it and he'd be like, don't you fucking do it. Don't you throw that ball at me. Like, shit like that. It was really fun. And then if you missed, the ball's next to that person you missed and they could fucking whip it right back at you.
Yeah. That sounds like a good one.
Yeah, I love Scatterball.
This is such a jerk myself off answer. The thing is, no dodgeball variant is probably fully original, but at the time, I could just call it Hunger Games dodgeball in high school. And it was the perfect like mix. It was kind of like Scatterball now that you say it. Everybody started in like the cornucopia. Everyone started in that middle circle where you do the jump ball for basketball games. Yeah. And you just scatter a bunch of dodgeballs literally sounds like I'm making up your game right now.
No, I mean,
if
there's a bunch of dodgeballs, it's already a different game.
And you scatter them all out around the gym. And it starts, right away, like whistle goes and everybody goes out. And it's a free-for-all. But once you get killed, like hit, or if you die in the class and your parents can't come pick you up yet, if you get hit, you sit down exactly where you are and you're out. You can't move. But if a ball rolls towards you and you hit someone that's still in, you can pop back up.
Oh, okay.
Also, if you catch a ball in the air and you're sitting down, you go back up, but the person that threw it is not out. So what people would do sometimes, if it's like if there's a couple people left, like people that were still alive would use dead people as like landmine traps and stuff. So like you're squaring off with another guy, you throw it past him at the guy sitting down behind him, and he catches it and immediately pegs the other guy.
Oh, damn, yeah. We did something, that sounds so fucking fun. We did something similar to that I forgot we did in high school.
What?
Which was like my gym teacher's idea. It wasn't like us just fucking around, but it's pretty much that game, except when you're dead, you stay dead, but you can touch the ball and you can roll it to people and everything, and you can pass it, but you can't get anyone out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It was with one exercise ball. I'm not fucking kidding. I can't believe I forgot about this.
Yeah.
It would just be like a bunch of, and girls played too,
yeah.
But like especially like the most athletic guys that I knew whipping one exercise ball at each other. But I forgot about all the drama and shit with that, because like the ball would be in between the last two people, and it's like somebody would grab it and both people would be like pleading, like, fucking pass to me, please. Yeah. That like hurt a lot. That game was fucking that'll like, getting hit with an exercise ball is serious shit.
It's way too much.
Yeah. I can't believe we did that. That's insane.
I remember it being too much, because like what was like the dodgeballs that you played with? What did they look like? What were they?
They were the ones that had like I don't know if it's like cotton or something soft inside.
Was it Gopher brand, the squishy ones where you could?
Yeah,
and then they go.
I don't know if it was that brand, but it was the squishy ones.
Okay.
We never played in my school. We never in any of the schools like junior high, elementary school, or anything like that. Never the classic dodgeball.
Oh, where it's like big rubber and like pretty much a kickball.
Yeah.
That was always, we played with mostly the Gopher ones, but we'd beg the gym teacher, like, please throw out a couple of the kickballs. But those were too much even.
Yeah,
like,
those were way too much.
I broke a kid's fingers in 6th grade. I broke 2 of Nick's fingers because I just hit him with a kickball.
Jeez.
And they broke them.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
Nick.
Too much. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. I didn't have anything to do with it, I promise.
I didn't try to.
It was a 2-man job.
It was a two-man, 2-finger job.
But
Classic.
yeah, that's a great question. I honestly, the exercise ball thing was way too much. And honestly, you think back to some of it, of like how brutal some of those games got, and you're like, how the fuck did the teacher not go like, whoa, guys, throwing that way too hard?
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's some nice like revenge for kids being shitty. It's like you can see them just beat the shit out of each other for a little bit.
Yeah.
Rather than us beating the shit out of 100 4th graders in the gym. That's my favorite gym game.
It's my favorite gym game. We almost never got to play it though.
Yeah, I know.
They saved it for like the Christmas last day before the break, when no one's really doing anything.
Yeah, and then you just beat the shit out of a bunch of 10-year-olds that got bussed into your high school.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect too, because it's just like, well, what, I don't know what we're going to do with the high school students. They're too old for movies. And then the middle school students, they get too rowdy. So put them in the gym and have the high school kids kill them.
That's it. Do you think you could beat up, who do you think would win in a fight? 18-year-old you or you now?
Probably 18-year-old me, honestly.
Really?
Dude, I was a 3-sport athlete, and I was still like, I was playing like in football, in high school I played football, basketball, baseball, and I ran cross country. So it's like, goddamn, I would kick my ass now. I'm a old washed up pudge now. I would fucking lose instantly.
Okay. I think I could beat the shit out of 18-year-old me.
You think?
Yeah, because the thing is, when I was like 15 to 17, I was like lifting pretty much every day of the week. And then when I was 18, when I was playing, or it might have been when I was turning 17 to 18, I stopped going to the gym because I was playing sports, and then I just like stopped playing sports, and then I didn't play anything senior year, so I was just like not working out because I had gotten out of it, and then I got bigger, which I've talked about on the podcast before, and then I lost that weight when I was like I started losing the weight in December of 2015 when I was 18. So like I would have been in the middle ground of not being less muscular than I was used to years before, and just starting to get into shape with like running and stuff. Like
Yeah.
endurance wise, I'll beat the shit out of 18-year-old me.
Yeah.
Because I've been running for 3 more years than he has, or 4 more years.
That's a good
Yikes.
point. But you got to factor in arm strength too.
He wasn't.
Do you punch when you run?
What's up?
Do you hit people? You complain about people not moving over on the sidewalks. I haven't heard that lately. Did you just start punching them or what?
Yeah, I've been knocking people down.
Do you kind of like?
The best ones are strollers because you have to put some real force in it to knock those backwards because usually they just roll backward.
Yeah.
So you got to hit them real hard for them to,
You just tip it to the side too.
No, but that was not punching.
You punch the stroller itself?
Or I punch the stroller straight on so hard, then it peels backward.
Oh, what about the parent? I mean, there's usually a parent.
They're already down, dude. They were the first punch.
So the parent behind the stroller that's getting pushed at you. So you're with potentially a 5-foot wingspan with a single
both
arm.
at once. I do this one's for the parent, this one's for the stroller.
So let me just unpack this.
Go for it.
You have a 5 to 7 foot wingspan with a single arm punch.
Right. Well, 5 to 7 foot. What stroller is 5 to 7 feet long?
Well, I'm accounting for the parent being at their arm length too, pushing
They're
it.
fully pushing it like
Yeah,
Frankenstein
it's a big
behind
baby.
it.
It's a big baby.
Okay.
So you're accounting for that distance with the punch.
What would the baby size? Why would the parent be further back just because it's a big baby?
Because they're pushing. It's because they got to really put their oomph into it,
Okay. So what is happening is they were starting to push the stroller. Maybe they were stopped.
Yes.
And they started going. So they're in the full extension of starting to push the stroller.
That's it. Yes.
Okay.
So you're reaching over that. Also, like you said, the parent hit the ground long before the baby.
Right.
With you also saying that you punch them at the exact same time.
Hit the parent harder. They Family Guy fall.
They Family Guy fall,
You
where
punch them
it's
so
frame
far,
1 up and frame 1 fully down.
You mean frame 2?
1.5. Let's
Frame one
let's
and a
split
half.
hairs.
They're fully down, and their arm is behind their back.
And their leg is curled over itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. I don't know why we had to go through all that just to find it out.
Now that I say it like that, I believe you unwaveringly.
I feel bad because we'll probably keep this in because it's content, but like I'm sure people are going to be calling you a fucking dumbass for years because of this conversation. It's really embarrassing.
I think that I earned that title though.
Yeah, Tony, keep all that in. So anyways, next question.
Somebody what is it like living in the US? Asks male Jane. Is it really as cool as the movies?
I don't even know what
I don't know. I
mean, one thing is living in the US is like it's not exactly because the laws can be different for them, but it's like asking like what it's like in Europe. You know what I mean? Like states are completely I said Europe weird. Like states are completely different. Like living in LA is like living in a different country than Illinois.
That's so true.
So I'm pretty smart. Thank you for saying that.
That's a good point.
This is the
Eddie's
second
smart.
podcast I've called myself smart as a joke.
At Mill the Pill asks, who's your favorite actor of all time? Who's your most hated actor of all time?
I'm always tied between Leo and Gyllenhaal I love.
Yeah.
I love Leo's got the prestigious stuff, but like I like how Gyllenhaal does a lot of smaller movies just because he wants to.
I think that Gyllenhaal is arguably the better actor than Leo.
I would say so too, but Leo's got some factor about him.
He's got the factor, but have you ever seen
him? So
him?
does Gyllenhaal, but not as much.
Yeah, Gyllenhaal's got the factor, and I've never seen Gyllenhaal in a role and been like, "You guys seeing this?" And I feel like there's a couple times.
He's been in a couple of romantic comedy. Oh, you're saying good or bad?
With his performance,
not Nightcrawler.
Oh, wait, no. I'm saying that I've never seen Jake Gyllenhaal and looked at his performance and been like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, yeah.
And there have been a couple times with Leo. Again, it's like he makes great decisions with his work and stuff, and he does good work. But there have been a couple times where I see him, or maybe he's trying to do like an accent in like Blood Diamond or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a hot load of garbage that fucking was. Where it's like mostly it's God tier, and then there's a couple times where I'm like, how come no one's talking about this? This is terrible.
Yeah, I can't think of like horrible ones, but I remember recently, I don't know if it's a good movie to you, but you know sometimes a movie might be good, but you tried it and it just didn't click with you that day. I remember trying to watch The Aviator and being like, this is not grabbing me at all.
Really? I haven't even tried.
Is it like, it might be a really good movie, and that was years ago, but that was one where it's just like, Leo usually has that factor that like brings me into a movie. I was watching The Aviator and I was like, nope. But it seemed like on paper an exactly like Leo movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like them both a lot. One thing I think underappreciated actor, or I would have said this before, but also his work hasn't been fantastic since, is Sam Rockwell. I think is a really talented actor.
Dude.
Also, I would say the most underrated actor in Hollywood right now is, why am I literally blanking on his name as I'm saying this? Fucking hell. I know his name.
We'll say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, Carrot Top. What?
It was Carrot. No. It's, why am I forgetting his name? I know him. You know, it's
What's
like,
he in?
It's like The Leftovers, but he's also in the new, now I'm blanking on everything. The new Netflix one with Emma Stone and
Jonah Hill?
Yeah. He's in that too.
I was just watching it on, what's the device? I can't.
That's a TV. No, I'm forget. Why the fuck am I forgetting his name? Read the next question. I need it because it's like me forgetting Jake Gyllenhaal's name. Like, I know his name so well, but I'm just
God damn. Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, even to go off the Leo thing, my favorite movie of all time is Django Unchained. But Leo's performance is great, and he buys into the character. But with his fucking accent, there's times I'm like, that was shit.
Yeah.
What?
Just a couple of things that he says. Yeah.
What's his name? What's the dude's name?
Justin Theroux. Obviously, I knew it was a J, and I was like, I couldn't remember. But yeah, have you seen his face before?
I know I have.
He married Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah. He actually he wrote Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller.
Really?
Yeah. He's a really talented writer as well.
Interesting.
And he's like big in comedy stuff. He was in Parks and Rec for a bit.
Uh-huh.
His head is shaved in that, so he's got he's the one that dates Leslie with like the big like widow's peak almost, or like it's just kind of a weird hairline.
Interesting.
He's I think it's like season 2 and he dates her and he's like a real boring guy.
Oh, dude, that's him. Mark?
Yeah.
Mark?
I don't remember if not the one that was like a main character on the show and left.
Oh.
Because that was Mark, right?
Yeah.
It's a different guy.
Oh, the really interesting friend. I know what you're talking about now. You're the dude that goes on adventures and shit.
I thought he was boring in it.
What? Now we're just spitballing. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. There is a really interesting friend, though.
Wait, what do you
where it's like Anne dates him or some shit like that.
What do you mean really interesting friend?
Where it's like he's like bald and he looks like Lance Armstrong and everyone's like, oh, look at it. What's the fucking guy's name? There was no context for you, by the way.
I can't remember any of it.
Anyway, I would say probably one of my favorite actors. I love Bryan Cranston. That's a huge answer for me.
Great.
And then too, I said it in the Chris Brown video because he was in fucking Chris Brown's documentary. But Jamie Foxx is like one of the most talented people, just period. Like if you've heard him do impressions, if you've heard him just sing, and like what a fucking powerhouse of talent.
Except for Electro.
What's that?
He was an Amazing Spider-Man too, and
did he do a bad job?
Yeah.
Jamie, first Electro, then Chris Brown. Welcome to My Life documentary.
Ranked
0 for 2 guy.
Those two.
The next question is going to be our last question.
Okay.
And I haven't yet chosen it yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep talking as I find it.
Well, one thing I'll say is I tweeted about Chris Brown yesterday just because there was more news about him.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I love is like. I'm almost positive there's bots for Chris Brown fans because I tweeted about the Rihanna thing and only that, and people were responding to that tweet being like, because it's to the recent allegations of what happened with him in France that you can look up, and people were like, the women just said he didn't do it, and it's like that's not what I said, and also. That's some TMZ bullshit that they found and isn't actually real. He was detained and then he was released with no bail, but they're starting an investigation and people were like, he got off. He's free. And it's like, that's not how jail works, idiot.
Yeah, you don't get charged and arrested and then just stay in there. Like you have to go through court and stuff.
It's genuinely like what they're saying is when you get off on bail and they're like, see, he's innocent. Yeah. Did you not see? It's like,
and it's like, what about the other like dozens of shit on his legal timeline? Yeah. It's like if a dog bit 10 people and then you go to his house the 11th time and he doesn't bite someone. It's like, he didn't bite someone this time.
Exactly. Like whether or not these recent ones are true does not matter for him as a person because you made the video before it. You know what I mean?
I had fucking stupid people. At Will Gard Nerd Davis. Oh, it's Gardner Davis again. Will Gardner Davis. For our last question of the day, do either of you have tips for creating content solo when you don't have anyone to help you with stuff? Probably easier for you.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you want to make sketches and stuff, then I would look at like what Drew did, Drew Gooden. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are ways around it. It's just like if you wanna make a sketch with multiple characters, no one wants to film with you. Get a tripod and be both characters. Like you just and it might not be good at first, but like like I look at old shit that I made and it's terrible. It's awful. But like that's how you get better at it. Mm-hmm. It's just like whittling it down.
Yeah, that's a good point. When I look at like old stuff that I did, it's just as good as I'm doing now.
Shut the fuck up.
That's a good question. And especially like you said, this is arguably the best time in terms of internet, in the history of YouTube and any internet video shit. This is the best time to do characters with just yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I do that a lot. Look at, like, ProZD, Ian Kung, Drew Gooden, Caleb City.
Danny does it too.
Danny does it too.
Nathan Zed.
It's like everyone fucking does it. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's
works.
funny. Go for that. And especially, like, that kind of stuff, you look at all those examples pretty much, it's done with a low budget look. You're filming on a cell phone. You're just changing shirts and positions. Do it now.
For me to give them the key as well?
Do it.
If you want to do a sketch where you're playing two characters, the easiest thing to do, and it still gets me for laughing and also just to make it feel more believable rather than like picturing you setting up the camera for both of them, is just have the audio track of when you change cameras of the other character bleeding over it into a little bit.
Yeah.
So then it feels way more like two people are talking to each other rather than just being like, what did you do today? I don't know. But like if you have the audio of what did you do today moving over while he's still talking when you see the other person, it'll work better.
It's funny. Caleb City does that all the time. And it's usually like mumbling. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
Demetrius Harmon and what's the other guy that does stuff with him?
John.
I think his name is Dope Island on Twitter. They do that shit all the time where you hear in the background like, yo, what the fuck? And I love that shit, dude. I love that so much. Do you remember the vegetarian gang video?
No.
Ah, fuck. I don't have it here, but just Google it. It's a Twitter video about like if vegetarians were in a gang. I'll show you later, but it was just
the hype beast kind of.
Yeah, he's
okay.
like where he's like take a bite out that bitch. Yeah. Take a yomp out that. Dude, I fucking love that shit.
That's a good one. Follow us on Twitter at Gus Buckets and at Eddie Burback, and we'll do this again.
Yeah.